Hi, everyone. All right, so we are on lesson 3 of my content drip planning course, and today we're going to talk about sales. Now, before we get into everything, I want to preface this video by stating I am not a sales expert, I'm not a business coach, and I'm not a funneling expert. So basically, what are we going to be talking about then, right? So I'm a copywriter, I'm a content creator. I am simply a piece of the process when it comes to um, the whole sales funnel thing. I help develop the content that goes into that process. So what I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to sales in marketing, in your marketing cycle, is that and I wrote about this in the blog post that I shared, the big thing to remember when it comes to sales is that you're going to be posting ads, but more than likely, that is not where you're going to make the sales. Where you're going to end up making the sales is in the relationships that you're building. So this all goes back to lesson 1 on Monday, where we talked about building relationships in your business and in your marketing, utilizing your marketing to build those relationships. So the sales portion of this, that's the marriage proposal, right? When you make a sale, when somebody invests money into you, they are committed. You have proven to them that you are capable, that you know what you're doing, that you are the expert and the person they need to be working with. So what I'm going to be talking about is today, mostly, I'm going to talk about market research. I'm going to talk about calls to action. Those are the things that I'm really going to be focusing on in this lesson today. So let's just jump right in. Market research. So one of my favorite parts of creating content is the research aspect. So I am all about doing market research for my own business and for other people's businesses. And so that I include that into my cost of my products and my packages, right? So when I was preparing for this course, there was a few things that I wanted to know. That way I could best serve and provide the right information that you guys were looking for. And so I asked in a few different groups in a few different places what people wanted to know about content and what people wanted to know about email marketing, because prior to doing this research for this program, I did some research looking into exactly which formats people were struggling with the most when it came to developing their content. And many of you stated that you had some confusion and lots of questions when it came to email marketing, which is what we are going to be talking about on Monday. So make sure that you are here on Monday for that, because I'm going to be answering all the questions that I had asked of me in that video. But for this video, what I'm going to be talking about is going to be calls to action. And the reason I'm talking about calls to action today is because when I asked what people wanted to know about when it came to content, was a lot of people had questions surrounding calls to action. For instance, Leanne mentioned that many of her clients, they struggle with converting social media posts into a call to action. And I also had Deborah she had questions when it came to selling or using calls to action. Jamie, how to get out of my head knowing what they need to learn and into the clients what they think they need. So that question, getting out of her own head, that goes back to the that goes back to the market research, right? And then I had people asking how often to post a call to action, and people wanting a specific plan to increase engagement and build relationships, and getting people attracted to what I'm offering. So lots of these questions all had to do with everything we've been talking about this week, with building those relationships, providing value to your clients, teaching them what they need to have and know before they can actually work with you, as well as today we're going to be talking about doing that research, and as well as the calls to action. So when it comes to doing market research, when you are wanting or planning to put on an event like this, please make sure that you do your research beforehand. You don't want to get on here and start talking about things that nobody cares about, that nobody is interested in, that everybody has, they're pretty comfortable with. So a great example of this, I did a blogging marathon at the end of last year. I didn't do any research before that. I did not look into what people wanted to know when it came to content or anything like that. I just decided that I wanted to talk about blogging, so that's what I did. And while I did have some people who were interested, I didn't have a lot. There were not a lot of people that were interested in that topic. So in the process of doing the research for that program, I did a course and then I did a webinar. I realized that the market in terms of blogging, many people write their own blog posts. In fact, 85% of businesses and individuals, they write their own content for that. So nobody really wanted information when it came to why you should have a blog. They already know. And those who don't know, they believe it's probably because they're not interested, and it's something they're just not going to do. So I started doing this research. I started asking questions. I popped into different groups that I'm a part of. I went into the Boss Moms group. I went into the Lit Up and Loaded group, the United Moms group, I think is what it's called. But anyway, I went into a few different groups that I'm active in pretty often. And I asked people, and I even asked on my own business page, what do you want to know? Because I wanted to do something that provided value to my audience, that was what they wanted to know, but I wanted to make sure I put the spin on it and provided them the information that they needed, or that you needed to have or know before you came to me specifically to create that for you. Because I am a content creator. I am a writer. I am a copywriter. I want to write your content. And you may not be ready for me right now, but that's okay. I want to prepare you so that when you get to the point where you're able to hire out for your writing stuff, because if you're in here, it's more than likely because you don't like to write. And so I ended up creating this amazingness that it is, based on the fact that I had lots of people interested in email marketing. I had people asking questions about, calls to action and how they do all of this. Basically, what order you put the content in, how you do the content, how often. That's the big question, isn't it? How often? And I'm going to talk more about that next Wednesday too. So going into market research, how do you do that? Well, that goes back to our building relationships, right? On Monday, ask questions. Ask people. Ask them specifically, what do you want to know? What are you missing? And then if you don't have the answer, go find it. It's not hard. The information is infinite. here on the internet, it seems. And put it together in a way that speaks to the people that you talk to. Put it together in a way that you understand it, and in the way that it fits into your business model and the way you do things, and teach it to them because they want to know for a reason. So, moving on from the research aspect of everything, and I actually wrote a blog post on that too. I will share that later because I have a blog post on how to do research for your business. So I'll share that later in the group as well. Okay. Calls to action. How often should you be putting a call to action in your social media posts? Every single time. And here's why. You want to put a call to action in every single one of your posts because you want to get your clients and your potential clients and customers used to clicking on your stuff. Yeah. You want them, because it's a brain, it's a psychology thing. The more often they get used to clicking, the more often that they're going to do it. And when you put a sales post out there, they're going to be more likely to click on it because they always click on your stuff because you're always asking them to, and they find a value in what you're saying in your posts. So they are comfortable clicking and doing that and going to the next thing or putting a comment down in your comments or pushing the like button or the happy face or the heart, whatever it is you're asking them to do. And then over time it builds up and it's just habit. And then when they get to that day where you're selling something that's super amazing and super awesome, they click that button, they go to that sales page, they read even more about how awesome it is, they trust you, and yep, they just happen to have that $250 you're asking for. So they click the button and they purchase it. Because at that point, you have built up so much trust and given them so much value that they know you are going to be the answer to their problems. Because that's what sales are. Sales is seeing a need and finding and creating a solution to that need. Problem, solution. That's you. That's what you're doing. Everybody as an entrepreneur has a problem that they are developing a solution, that they have developed a solution for. The problem I fill is I fill the need of, I help those who have a need for content on their websites, for their emails, for their social media. They need that content, but they don't always have the time, the know-how, or the desire to write that content. And more specifically, the clients that I work with, they also struggle with understanding what the right words are to reach the audience that they are wanting to connect with, because they've spent so much time over here in the professional world that they've forgotten how to talk like a human being, essentially. Because I am the jargon expert. I help simplify language, and I love it. It makes me so happy because I get to learn so many new things. And when you're doing your posts, a call to action, it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, come join my newsletter, download this thing, or buy this thing. A call to action can be as simple as, what is your favorite color? Leave a GIF below that utilizes that color. I don't know. That would be really silly. But when you ask a question, like, tell your audience to please comment in below so that you can see what their answers are. Give them a reason to engage with you. All right. So now going on to the question, let me see here. Okay, so here was another good question that I had. Sharing the right info so that the audience understands exactly what it is. So when you're selling, you're selling something, you have a course or something like that out there. You name your course and you've done your market research, so you know what, and you've tested out a few different names, so you know what name works. Hush. Sorry. Do I need to kick you out? Yes? Okay. One moment. Let me put the dog outside because she's not happy. Okay, sorry about that. Because if she gets too excited, she'll jump up here and it'll make the screen shake like it just did with me doing that. Okay, so train of thought. Sharing the right info so that the audience understands exactly what it is. Got it. Okay. You've done your research. You've asked your audience what it is they want, what it is they need, what preference they have for like titles and all those things of that nature. So you do that and you create a post talking about your title and the topics that you're going to be going over in that course or that webinar or whatever the case may be of whatever it is you've created that you're selling. But for some reason, people are reading it and they're not quite understanding what you're talking about or what you're doing. Well, typically I would say that's where I come in as the jargon expert and I help you simplify your language. But what I'm going to be telling you now is because if you're doing it yourself, you want to go in and you want to make sure that you're defining those uncommon words that people aren't going to be overly familiar with, and you're actually describing what the offer is. Like Shelly, I see her name in here. I don't know if you're still watching, but she has an offer for a course that she's doing. It's like the 3 pillars of life or success, something like that. And if you're still watching, Shelly, please feel free to post what exactly it is. But I did her webinar on it, and it was really good. She has amazing information that she's handing out. But a lot of her posts, she just talks, a few of the posts that I've seen her do, she just talks about she just says the name of the course. So when okay, Shelly, you're here. What's the name of your course? Put it in the comments so that I know. Pillars of Transformation. There you go. So she has this course, Pillars of Transformation. And I did her webinar. It's really good. And honestly, you guys, you should go check her page out because what she's offering really is very awesome. But a lot of the posts I've seen, like she did a comment in here where she said she asked people to, check out her course that she's doing, the 3 Pillars of Transformation. But she didn't tell you what it was. She didn't describe it. So, Shelly, when you're doing your post, tell us what that is. What are we transforming? What are you helping us work through in your coaching? So I understand that like everybody's going to have their own transformation because I did take your webinar, so I'm pretty familiar with what you're going to be going over. But in the post that I've seen her do, she says the title, but she doesn't go into extreme detail of what she's doing. And I honestly think, Shelly, that's really going to help you out if you give a little bit more information about what the 3 pillars of transformation means. What are you going to transform in our lives? Because I know you're going to transform lives because you're amazing. You're a great coach. I love you so much. I should have told you weeks ago. I'm so sorry I didn't. I've been very busy and that's my bad. I will totally make sure I catch you next time. I'm sorry. But yes, and the only reason I'm talking about now is because I saw your name and it occurred to me that, oh, hey, this would really help you what I'm talking about right now. So when you're describing and posting about your products, your sales, don't be afraid of a long post. Like, people are so afraid to have. Give me a moment, I'm almost done. Children, there's so much fun. So when it comes to your content, don't be afraid of a long post. Long posts are perfectly fine. People don't mind long posts. Just if you're going to do a long post, make sure you have an image to go with it. That way it captures people's attention. And that goes really for any post you do. Always include an image with it, or make sure it's like one of those overlaid, you know how you have like the words and it's on top of an image. Make sure you always do something like that. Either have the image plus your long written content up here, or have an image with words with your question or your short statement over it. That way, because it's eye-catching. It catches the eye, it catches our attention. Just because when you're scrolling through your newsfeed, if you just have words, generally the post is going to be a lot smaller and it's going to be easily skipped. Versus a picture, people are going to see like, oh, I like that color. What's that? And so don't be afraid of long posts, and be detailed. People, they like detail. They like to know what they're getting into. And also be sure to include calls to action. Tell them to go to this link that's in the comments, or tell them to drop their link in the comments, or tell them to, hey, go sign up for my newsletter because I'm doing XYZ over here. Now, when it comes to sales in your marketing, you should be including, even if you don't have a big offer coming up like Shelly with her course, if you have a, like say you do one-to-one calls as a coach, or say you're in product sales, so you have products that you sell. You should be, if you're in product sales, you need to be posting every day about your products. But if you're like a coach and you just do like these one-to-one calls, or maybe you have a group, like a membership program or something that's always open. For those things, those smaller priced items that you have, those like everyday offers that are always available to your clients and customers, and you're in the service industry, you should be posting at least once a week about a service product. Once a day, depending on how often you post. Many of us, we only post about 3 to 5 times a week. Like, we post like once a day. So if you're a once a day type of poster, and that's perfectly okay. And we're going to talk more about how often to be posting next Wednesday. But I wanted to talk about this because it's a big question surrounding sales, that people don't want to seem spammy and things like that. So if you are in product sales, I expect you to be posting every day. You're trying to sell a product that is constantly available and that other people are probably selling too. So you need to be posting your products every day. You need to be showcasing them and things like that. But as a service person, we all know that you're a coach, so that means you probably have something like a one-to-one call option, or a membership that people can sign up for, a membership group or whatever. So being that we know you're a coach, that's a very common thing for coaches to have, posting about it once a week to let people know, hey, this is how much it is to do this with me, and this is how you sign up for it, is good, because you have people who are coming in at different rates, different times, that are at different points in the cycle. And I talked about this a little bit Wednesday and Monday. Your marketing cycle, it's the same as your sales cycle. It's about 90 days. So you have somebody coming in, they're just getting to know you. They don't know really who you are, what you're about. And so you're building the relationship with them. And you've got your value. You're providing value to those they've gotten to know, they know who you are and what you do. And now at this point, you're teaching them and educating them on what they need to have and know before they can work with you. And then you have the people who they fully understand. They know what they need to have, and they've gotten it together. They have what they need, and they're ready to make that jump, make that leap to start working with you so that they can get to the next point of where they need to be in their business. So that's where you have your sales posts come in, because you're going to have people that they reach that point and they know that they know somebody who does it, but they can't remember who, because they don't keep exact track of who does everything. But your stuff ends up coming up in their posts, and they really like your stuff. They engage with you a lot, and they're like, oh yeah, Brittany does copywriting. So they reach out to me. I'm using myself as the example here. And they're like, hey, I need content written for this. I saw your post where you're doing this thing. Do you do this thing? Yeah, I do. Let's jump on a call and talk about exactly what it is you're needing. So I've built the relationship with them. They know me. I've connected with them. They know what I do. They've seen it. And then they're reminded as they're looking for somebody, oh, yeah, Brittany, I love her. Let's get on a call with her so I can hire her. Or Shelly, she's a life coach and I really need some transformative advice. Maybe let's go jump on a call with her. So your sales, you're always going to be selling, and you should always be selling. Sales is a part of the running a business, and you need to include it in your posts and in your cycle, your marketing cycle. It should be in there at least once a week, more depending on how often you post. And again, I'm going to get more into that on Wednesday. But even if you're not doing a big thing, you don't have to have a big event coming up to do a sales post, guys, girls, ladies. We have men and women here in the group, but you don't have to be selling every single day, but you are selling every single day because you're a business, and you need to make sure that if you don't like sales, get out of your head that you're selling anything. You're building relationships and you just happen to sell something. So I think I'm going to end it there because I've been on it talking for almost 30 minutes now. But if you guys have questions, please, please, please post them in the comments. Homework. There is homework. So what I'd like for all of you to do homework-wise, since we're talking about sales and how to post and what to post, we did relationships on Monday and value on Wednesday. So today I want you to create posts that are selling your smaller products. Like if you're a coach, your one-to-ones that you do or offer, or if you don't do one-to-ones, like but you have something else. I want you to create a few posts for this. But on top of that, I want you to create posts that have calls to action in them. They don't have to be sales posts at all. They could be join my newsletter. They could be check out this blog post and asking a question related to the blog post about what people thought. They can be they can be, how are you feeling today? Put this emoji for this emotion and this emoji for this emotion to let us know how you are. Those are all calls to action. So I want everybody to do a calls to action post, at least one. I recommend every post you do for the next week, put a call to action of some type in it, asking people's opinions, asking them questions, because when you do that, you're getting them to click. So I love you guys. That's the homework for this weekend. I will be posting the homework later tonight. I have to finish the PDF for it. It's almost done. And I also already posted the blog post. Go check that out. It gives some good information. I really liked it. It's called what I know sales not to be. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was fun. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Okay, it's been a long day. Oh, all right. I love all of you, and I will see you Monday. Monday is going to be amazing. We're going to be talking about email marketing, and I am super, super excited about it. But I love you all.